And now it is time for the grand finals here at the One Piece Card Game World Finals. As a quick reminder, this is a best of 3 format. That means that the first player to win 2 games will be taking victory. And just like we saw, if for whatever reason we go into time, well, then there'll be the tiebreakers there as well. So both of these players geared up to see which one will be able to take the crown, take the glory. I'm Aspira, and with me is joined the phenomenal Eggman. How you doing, Egg?
I'm doing all right. It's this is a remote cast for us here today. It's approaching 1 a.m. here in LA, and I know that I'm on the western side of the states here. So shouts to everyone from around the world tuning in, no matter the time, the date, whatever, getting some One Piece action as we set up for, again, our grand final, not only for this event, for the entire competitive 2024-2025 year of the One Piece card game.
Yes, 100%. So we have Wasinha here on the left side, and we have Yong here on the right side. Both of these players, I believe, representing C here at this tournament. So very exciting.
We've got Thailand and Singapore in the finals here today.
Yeah, so we do love to see that greater Asia region representation as these players geared up for this World Champion Finals. A blue, purple Luffy versus Emu here. 2 titans, I would say, of the past, year plus of One Piece. 2 decks that have been both at the top of the meta at one time or another, and have definitely put themselves in a position to represent as the number 1 decks of the world in this tournament.
For sure. So Blue Purple Luffy was released in OP11, which for us here in North America was midway through the year, but definitely was like a great start for the format. Very difficult to overcome the amount of value it got. Essentially, it's a draw 2. It has a lot of ways to manipulate the top ways of your deck and use them from there. It ended up having some restrictions happen, and then OP13 came out, where not only Ace, which we saw during our 3rd place match, but Emu came into the meta, and this is also just a dominant force, being able to play a lot of the Saints out, having the 5 Elders, and just getting even more value than the Blue Purple Luffy at times.
Yeah, it is absurd, the amount of bodies you can put down, the amount of pressure, the amount of protection that they have as Emu here. So very scary position here for Monkey D. Luffy, but we did see how much Emu was up on the board as we went into the Swiss rounds. It was the most represented deck, so notably, I think our blue-purple player here is in a position to understand the matchup, understand what they need to do to hopefully give them the best edge to making it out in this best of 3.
Yeah, not an impossible matchup to dodge, but definitely one that you need to have a game plan for, right? It is, I'd say, very tough for Blue Purple Luffy at times, and so to be able to get there, to be in the finals when there's so many Emus around is very strong.
100%. And I mean, look, we were talking about it in Game 3, where there's a certain type of pressure in Game 3. You're fighting for your spot in the podium. Now, both these players are on the podium. So now it's just looking at each other in the eye and being like, so which one gets to go home called the One Piece Card Game World Champion?
Correct, yeah. And it's quite the title to obtain, right? We're both walking away with a trophy, just deciding, do we like silver more or do we like gold more?
Yeah. What's working best with my fit here at the moment as we do look at these initial opening hands here for both players.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of search here for Emu already. Again, it is going to be very important who goes first, and it looks like Luffy's going to go first, which is definitely on Emu's side. Emu is very strong going second, and especially since we are able to play our 5 Elders on curve, so it's going to be already a hill to climb for a Blue-Purple Luffy player.
Yep, for the uninitiated, Emu does get to start with a Mary Joie type stage on a board here, the Empty Throne. You may have the stage and 3 your Dawn cards to play a Elder, so effectively does mean that you're able to get those Elders out very early. Big swingy 5k bodies, all of them having abilities that will eventually, once there's enough cards in trash, protect them, provide them additional abilities, and at some point, depending on the Saint that is on the board, Jupiter being able to give some additional power to all of these Elders. So very scary here as we get fired off into the first turn for both of these players.
Yep. So, pretty understood start from Tihan Yong. Not much to do, but we do have the search here with the event of the five elders are at your service. So being able to use that there to search, and then we are just going to play another one. And you said eventually when they get to 7 cards in trash, but we're already there.
We're there.
Very not a big issue here.
Yeah. First pickup there being the never existed, and then wasn't too sure what the pickup was on that second card, but pass on over here to Tihan, starting off with the swing. That'll be a take here.
Yeah, and then we got a quick gear 2, so we can tap an additional 2 Dawn to ramp a Dawn Arrested, and this is already a bit of a faster pace than the third place match for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Both these decks trying to go here. Emu just trying to get on board, and then Purple Luffy just try and get to a point where be able to get that additional card draw, which will be sorely needed to be able to stave off against a lot of this offense here.
Yeah, and so we do have the Saturn here. So this is going to let us look at the top 5 cards of our deck for a 5 Elders type. Again, most of these Elders essentially have this blanket effect too. If you have 7 or more cards in your trash, this character cannot be removed from the field by your opponent's effects. So they are just here to stay.
Yep, they stick around. And then outside of Saturn, they all get some additional perks. We've got Worker with Blocker. We've got Venus here with Rush. And then we do have Mars with Blocker as well. So lots of utility in what are these quote unquote overstated bodies here, as we do go ahead back into Luffy's turn, pay the 4, and then go into the Bond Clay.
Yeah, so this is a secret rare all the way back from the first EB set here. So it lets you ramp a Dawn active on play. It does also have a when attacking selected one of your opponent's characters, it becomes the base power of the same selected character for that. It looks like we're just going to use it. Never existed a little bit early here, and another 1k to get out of this attack. But the big issue here is that Luffy's at 7 Dawn, and Luffy at 7 Dawn versus Luffy at 8 Dawn is a huge gap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were talking about it, the desire to be on your curve from the third place match, and that does represent itself here as we do get the 1 Dawn attachment on the Emu swing here. That'll be a take here for a Luffy player.
All right, and we're going to go another 6k here. Luffy, since it's a deck that essentially draws 2 for free every turn, once you start your turn at 8 Dawn, you do get a lot of additional value, but that 3 life early is a hindrance, so you have to be careful you're healthy enough. But getting another copy of It Never Existed, I'm starting to think it did exist, but we're going to get that cycle there. We've got 3 left to pay for our stage here. And we're going to be able to play a blocker, and then we are going to be able to use the effect of our Mars here to be able to get a discard 1 to get rid of something with original cost of 5 or less, if we so desire. Get that discard. Yes, yep. There it is.
And of course, reminder, Emu can utilize his cycle ability from hand or on board, as long as they follow the needed trait. As we now go into, I believe, 9 here for Luffy.
Yeah, and it's just 1 short. Luffy does have a fantastic effect of when you are at 8 or more Dawn at the start of your turn. So this is before you add Dawn from your Dawn deck. You get to look top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up just 1 Straw Hat Crew, add it to your hand, rearrange the rest of the cards on top or bottom. Then you get your Dawn, then you get your draw for turn. So, that's where the double draw comes from. That's where you can set up a 9-drop. And we're just going to say...
Are we just doing a blind Sanji?
Let's see what we get. Oh, that's a pretty good hit here. So, of the deck, this is a little bit above average, but it is the 7-drop Linlin. It's the new card, at least for us here in the North America side. It's the EBO3 card. On play, draw 1 and place 1 card from your hand at the top of your deck, then add 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck active. Also has a really nice KO effect to on KO to heal a life, and now we're thinking, do we want a 6k or 7k attack going in?
All right, so swing here, and then that'll just be a pass.
Yeah, but all things considered, this is, I'd say, above average for Luffy. That Sanji actually hitting something impactful is really nice. Another good hit would have been 9-drop Mihawk, but again, all these cards are protected. And then what do we hit on the board now, George?
Went ahead and got ourselves a Jupiter So Jupiter impactful here, specifically because this is the one that gives that additional turns all of the 5 elders into 7Ks. Very notable here when we're facing off into a 6K lead, because now that doesn't require any Dawn attachments to start applying pressure. If you want to, you can attach the additional 1 Dawn to be able to force it into an 8, and that gets you in those like magic number ranges. But this is a very scary board. It's very tough, especially like you were saying. They all have protection at this point. So Tihan is going to have to get there via attrition, which is not necessarily always the easiest thing to do. So this could represent a lot of pressure, makes them even harder to deal with.
Yeah, and one more thing, the number of cards in trash are really important for Emu for a couple of reasons, and another reason is it has this this effect off the stage rather. If you have, I believe it's 19 or more cards in your trash, your leader gains plus 1K during your turn. So I don't think we're quite there yet for Emu, but being able to attack 6K without any Dawn attached against the 6K leader is just like another bonus this deck gets.
Yep. There's just a lot of rewards for doing what the deck already wants to do, which is a pretty phenomenal spot to be, as we're contemplating the attachment on swing here. So thinking about attach 2. As Tihan's down to 1 life.
Yeah, but Luffy at 1 life is so deceptive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So many good defensive cards. Additionally, we've got 3 cards left in hand for Wasinha's, Emu deck over there. So we do know that one of them is there never existed. We've got 5 elders, and we also do have I'm losing my edge. So we do have some defensive events that we could be using next turn, but really making a decision on just how much Dawn we want to attach here.
Yeah, just have to take into account that we do have, like it or not, a big Sanji and a big Linlin there on the other side of the board. As we do get that attached to and swing. We got about 6 cards here in Tehan's hand. Asking how many cards is in trash. Let me look at that. What am I working with here?
2, 3. Just asking how many. All right. I'm going to guess there's around 14 cards in trash. That's my.
I think that's about where I think we would be at this point in the game.
Definitely not enough to get the plus 1K, I think. Definitely not 19, but pretty close.
Yeah, just a couple of activations else. So we do go
gear. We're going to use the gear 2, and then we're going to do 1 more 6K. And we're taking the life. And,
all right.
There we go. So starting our turn, we're going to look at top 5 for a Straw Hat. We got some good cards. The 8-drop is really nice, the Goldie Roger. I don't think we have a Sanji to play it off the top of our deck, though. So we do get the Gum Gum Giant, probably one of the strongest cards for this deck, if not the strongest, tied with Sanji. Dawn -2, you get to discard 1, draw 2, and then get +4. So you get out of attack, and you don't lose hand advantage, and you draw 2 for turn, too. So, it just really accelerates how much, advantage that the Blue-Purple Luffy can get throughout a game.
Yeah, 100%. It's a phenomenal defensive card here as we do start with the Linling Swing.
All right, and we're going to be playing out an event of our own. It's kind of a, the budget version of Gum Gum Giant. So after all these years, I'm losing my edge. Up to one of your leader's characters gets a plus 1K during the battle, and then if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, which we definitely do, up to 1 black character card with cost of 3 or less from your trash to your hand.
Okay, and here comes down the Gold D Rogers 8-drop 10K on play. If you or your opponent have 10 Dawn cards on the field, your leader gets 2K until the end of your opponent's next end phase here. So turning our Blue-Purple Luffy into a massive 8K leader.
Yeah, and this was a card that came out a couple months after OP11, so there were Blue-Purple Luffy was falling off a little bit, and this definitely gave the deck a lot more life. So it's really interesting to see in this finals we had the deck that was for the first half of the year was probably one of the best decks in the game, and now we're in the second half of the year, and it's caught up to Emu, who's been wrecking havoc since release in OP13.
Yeah, it's almost like if we count the 2 final seasons that most regions get, it's like the Titan of the first one versus the Titan of the second one, kind of how they're coming together here.
Correct. So we're adding 1 more Dawn. We're going to get a big 9K. We're going to do It Never Existed and a 1K, going down to one card in hand and passing back.
Yeah, so definitely a tough place advantage-wise here, but what can we do about the board? What can we do about Taehan's hand here? How aggressively can we play this out? Tough place to be when the opposing leader is an 8K.
Yeah. All right. So we're at 10 Dawn here. So I don't think we said it outright, but just in case you missed it, the throne has this effect of you may rest this card in 3 of your Dawn to play up to 1 black 5 Elders type character with a cost equal to or less than the number of Dawn on your field. So when you have 10 Dawn, you can pay 3 to play at 10 cost, which we have one of the best 10 costs in the game currently in our hand.
100%. The 5 Elders, a big beefy 12K with an activate main. If your leader is Emu, you may rest 1 of your Dawn cards and trash 1 card from your hand, trash all of your characters, then play up to 5 Elder type characters with different card names and 5K power from your trash, so effectively playing out the entire squad once more.
Yeah, and when that happens, we'll go through the effects. But generally speaking, it's probably one of the best value plays in this game. So even though Emu's got 2 cards in hand, not a lot going on, this 5 Elders will get it back into the game once we start looping it. All right, so it looks like we got a big 9K going into assumedly the Luffy leader, so it'd be 9 to 8. We're at 0 life, so we do have to get out of it.
Yeah, this is not optional at the moment. So the question here for Wasinha is just going to be like, how many cards can I force out of the hand in this situation here?
Mm-hmm. And again, it's such a weird spot to be in because we have all these 1Ks, and also the other thing too is that we know the top 2 cards of our deck, right? We ended up using the our Luffy leader effect, so we're going to do the Dawn -2, draw 2 cards, and we end up getting a 2K and another 1K. So I think just making sure we got the numbers to make sure we got that there. We used our Emu leader effect to get rid of our 5 Elder there to get an additional draw. We have these additional attacks if we want it. So if we want to pressure a leader, we can, or if we want to pivot to the board, we haven't seen him yet, but there's another Elder right now. That is the Venus Juro. When it has Rush when you play it, and it can give -2K to something on attack. So if you want to pressure the board instead, you can do that a little bit more successfully than this 8K leader.
Yep. So it's a counterbalance right now of how much board control do I need to apply versus how many cards do I want to get rid out of your hand. So that's what we're contemplating here. As we have, I believe, depending on where this attaches, looks like 1 each.
I think that's pretty fair. We are thinking about it. So again, it's both decks have the same balance of I need to make sure I get the right amount of cards up for aggression, but leaving the right amount up for defense.
Yep, as it does look like we're playing out the scenarios at the moment in our mind. Quote unquote, this is a timed round, but a lot of opportunity here. These decks we're rather quick to get fired off here, so a lot of time still left here in this end game as the players kind of figure out the late game here. Looks like we are finally going to commit to the 1 Dawn attachment and swing. Comes another 8K swing.
All right, going to get rid of the Nami there. And then, here comes the 5 Elders. So I'm going to read cards for a long time. So 5 Elders says, activate main. If your leader's Emu, you may rest 1 of your Dawn, trash 1 card from your hand. If you do, trash all characters and play 5 Elders with a unique names and 5K power. So we've seen a good amount of them already. But going down the line, we have Saturn, which will let us look top 5 for a 5 Elders card. We've got Workery, which we haven't seen so far, but it's a blocker that has an on-KO draw. We've got another blocker with the Mars that we get to play out again, and we could use it to get rid of something 5 or less. We've got the Venus Juro, which we haven't seen yet, but we will. And then we can get the Jupiter back to, again, give all our cards a +2K on our turn.
Yep. So big beefy bodies here, quote unquote free protection. As like you're saying, we had the Venus Juro also that can go ahead and get an additional swing in or potentially swing into the board. So it's just a little bit of everything. It's
Yep.
some eventual card advantage, a little bit of protection, some pressure here. We do see the swing into the Ling Ling.
Let's see. And so, we've got this weird decision now, right? We can protect it, or we can save it, but if we don't, we can, we can Dawn -1 to heal 1, but then we won't be at 8 Dawn at the start of our turn.
Mm-hmm. So, looking at her Dawn.
And real quick, I'm guessing that Venus Juro attacked the leader, which is why we 1K'd out, and then we're going 5 to 5. So we can save it, and we do save it using the 2K. Oh yeah, waiting if they end their turn.
So past turn, let's just make sure we're waiting on that sequencing there.
Yeah. Also, sorry, it was a 6K attack, so the 2K was needed, not the 1K. Okay, we've got
a couple of Sanjis.
Yeah, it would have been slightly better last turn to see these Sanjis, but looks like we will get it. But that will be...
And back to the top of the deck that goes.
Yeah. So we draw the Sanji, we draw for turn, and then we know the top card of our deck.
Okay, so big upturn here for Blue Purple Luffy to try to turn us around. Start with a Ling Ling swing, 7K. We know that there's some defense on board. Wasinha, they're not working with a ton of cards in the hand, but has a couple.
Yeah, it never existed to protect it.
Start with follow-up Sanji swing.
Yeah, and then... Yeah, if we were at 1 life, I think we'd be a little bit more comfortable here. We're going to play out the 9-drop Sanji with the top card of our deck. How'd that Goldie Roger get there?
I wonder, how did he know? And that's the double swing here. Double take from Emu as we just passed a turn. 0 life all here as we're working against a 8K lead. Very quick attach and swing here.
Yeah, but we know that they've got 4 cards in hand, that these numbers are going to be very good. So 8, 8, 8, 8, and then 0 cards in hand, and there it is. So, that this is why it's so tricky for Luffy. Sometimes we did kind of miss out on an extra ramp we could have had to maybe high roll a little bit higher. But Emu going second is definitely one of the best games, if not the best decks in the game right now. It's so strong.
Yep, 100% huge power here from Wasinha, taking down game 1 in this One Piece World Championship Finals. One step closer to that World Champ title, the gold, the trophy, the fame. So fantastically done here. Of course, the script will be able to be flipped in this game too. This is a best 2 out of 3 opportunity here for Blue Purple Luffy to be on the run back and will have the opportunity to be able to go second in this game too. We've talked about how impactful that is. We've seen how impactful the difference can make in the 3rd place match that we had seen previously. So hopefully here, Tejan will be able to capitalize on this momentum shift and force a game 3 situation.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what the adjustment you can make. But the toughest hill to climb once again is that even if we do force a game 3, Emu's going to take second again, right? There's no way we don't. So it's going to be a long fight, but we're in for it, and we'll have to see how this game 2 goes.
So both these players firing it off there, just making sure that we're indicating that Emu will indeed be going first here.
Yeah, and shouts to the table team, really going above and beyond, making it not only easy for us to commentate, but for you guys to watch at home. So especially I think in this meta, there's just a lot of like cost increasing and decreasing. Specifically when going first makes a big difference. These indicators really help.
Yep, super on top of the power manipulations here. So do love to have those indicators, making sure that we always know what's happening on with the board as players here get their cuts in and get fired through. Let's see if they're able to both start with hands that they're looking for here.
All right, and just setting up the life there. All right, yeah, and again, when Luffy first came out, I was like, man, 3 life leaders hadn't really been super popular or super successful beforehand. Being a 6K leader is nice, and so that's kind of the trade-off. But Luffy definitely broke the mold. Definitely let the groundwork go for Ace to be, a good 6K leader too. Obviously, got 3rd place at this weekend's event too. So strong showing for Ace as well, and looks like we are set up, and I'm assuming we're keeping our opening hand, so just ready, waiting for the go ahead.
Yep, give these players just 1 second to contemplate what's going on. Lots of pressure, especially on Tehan's side here, knowing that this could potentially be the last game they get as we fire it off in this game, and we do get a at your service here to kick it off. Always love starting it off that way as Emu.
Yeah, I mean, just getting so many cards in your trash to start us off is pretty nice here. All right. We've got 2. If we want to, I don't think Otama is a terrible play. The fact that it does help you cycle for better pieces is nice. The fact that you don't even you lose a 2K in hand, but you don't lose card advantage either. It's draw 2, trash 1. So you start with 6 cards, you end with 6 cards, but we're just going to pass it back and go from there.
Yep, up to 3 now here. We're going to go ahead and attach 1, swing for the 6. That's going to be a take here from Luffy. And then I'm going to kick it off with a Saint Shalria. Look at the top 3, grab ourselves a Celestial Dragon and trash the rest. And then we can go ahead and cycle it away.
Yep. And again, you see a similarity definitely with Ace and Emu, right? The biggest thing is that they have so many ways to draw their pieces. It's very consistent. So not only helps in the individual matches, but when this has been a long weekend, a lot of games for both players, that really helps you get to these spots here.
Yep, now we're at 4 here for Luffy here, contemplating on the play. Could put the 3 for Zorojuro. Looks like we'll get the attach on the Luffy, swing for 7. Never existed.
And playing out the Zorojuro.
Attach swing. Force you to have it.
And I think we do have it, but it's just I've seen blue purple Luffy players. They've got 7 cards in the hand. They're like, I've got no cards to counter. How did you know? All right, Saturn's fine. Saturn. That's pretty nice. Cycle with leader ability and pass it back.
Yeah,
so we can see just how slow this can be. And so we're at 6 Dawn, and then as long as we have another way to get an additional Dawn, we will be able to go to our big 7. It looks like, are we actually going to play out the Lin? Oh, we are. Oh, I love this play here. So this is, again, a new card for us here in North America, a little bit of an older card for people playing the Asian meta. But the biggest thing about this, not only does this give us the ramp, but it does give us an opportunity to put a card to the top of our deck. And that means that we can stack the top card of our deck to try to use a Sanji effect. So unfortunately, we have not seen a 9-drop Sanji quite yet, but this is definitely helping us get to that point of view.
Yep. We'll be able to look at our 5 next turn, maybe find it from there, take the card that we wanted from our hand to potentially play off of the Sanji. Thought about playing the Otama, maybe an attach and swing as well. Looks like we are just going to send it for 6.
Yeah, and losing my edge here. I don't know. Do we have 10 cards in trash? It's a little bit tricky for us to see, but assuming that we do, again, we do get to get a +1K, add a card from trash to hand, and then use it to get the counter out. Yeah, with the Shirahoshi here. All right, and we are going to use the Otama. So again, it's going to be a draw 2 and trash 1, and that ended up working out. So there we go.
So have ourselves a 4K on board. I got the Lemon with 7, and then the Otama, a chill 0 as we pass it on here. Started off with a swing into the Zorojuro.
Yeah, and
5.
I mean, we could protect it. They're going to, I believe, 7 Dawn on the other side, so the removal is asking for a little bit.
I think Wasinha here working with about 5 cards in hand.
Yeah, he's just like, dude, how bad do I want this? How bad do you want this? What's the where's the decision? The Zoro does actually do a little bit of work here, but yeah, we'll see if it's worth losing. Yeah, there it is.
So gone now into the Jupiter, and I believe we're at 10.
Luffy's going to go to 10. Yeah, if that's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 in trash. Yeah. We should be good. If we use the I'm losing my edge, then we got something from it. Yeah, we definitely do. All right. So start of our turn. Look at top 5. Hoping that there's a Sanji in here. I'm not seeing it.
No Sanji. Double bond clay. Can't grab those. You can sag them to the top of the deck though if you want them. Has I believe that's a Gungam Giant.
Yeah, so I think Giant's the card we get. I wouldn't be surprised if we put it to the bottom.
The rest of the bottom. Yeah,
and just see what we get off the top here.
All right.
Yeah, this is the turn that, if everything goes right, we can really capitalize off this. Mihawk's not bad.
He's big, at the very least.
You don't get any removal. The alternative is that you can use 5-drop Nami to try to set up a better Sanji play next turn too. It's a draw 3, put 2 to the top or bottom, and as a blocker. The issue is it does get KO'd by the St. Marcus Mars, so that is a tough trade there.
All right, so first swing here. We'll clear the Saturn. Leader swing will demand a card. And then, down into the Mihawk and pass.
Yeah. And the rough thing about this deck is that every time you play 1 9K, you're like, could have been 2.
All right, so started off with the attach and swing here. Emu doing what Emu does best. These are big, beefy 8K swings, demanding a lot from the Luffy deck here. Go ahead for another swing.
9-cost Luffy got off life is not terrible. It would have been slightly better to play on this previous turn, since it does, have a 9K rush, draw card kind of ability. So, would have been nice if we took one more hit here. But that's again the trade you play with the One Piece card game.
Yep. Asking how many Don you're working with here as we're contemplating going down to 0. It looks like we're thinking about just Gum Gianting our way out of this.
I don't know if I necessarily love using the 9-drop because it might just be our best turn play next turn. You also could just use the gear 2. But yeah, we're going to use Giant, and we are going to use the 9-cost Luffy for it. So draw 2. Didn't draw into 9-drop Sanji. That almost always happens when I bomb deck afterwards. Like you see the Sanji late, and then sometimes it's just kind of stuck in hand.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, we're digging another 5 at the start of our next turn. Opportunity here to be able to find it as we do go into the Venus.
Yeah, but the fact that this deck is so good at establishing 2 blockers, it just causes a lot of pain. And now we're going 7 to 5. This won't even be the last attack for the turn. We could heal 1 if we wanted to by losing a Dawn, but then we start the turn at 7, so we don't even get the leader effect. So yeah.
Yep, and we know we're digging for a card.
Yeah, shaking their head. Yeah. Sanji's got to be here. There he is.
Sanji is there.
And an 8-drop Goldie Roger. Okay, this is probably the best that we could really ask for. Sincerely.
Yep. So what do we want to draw, and then what do we want to leave on the top of our deck? So potentially solid turn here, but still a long way to climb up here for Tehan. Emu chilling at 4 life at the moment. Does have the leader and the Mihawk that'll be able to swing this turn, which can hopefully help with the board to some degree as we go into our turn, get that draw, and probably just rip the Sanji.
Yeah, the issue here, though, is that two things. We know the top two cards in our deck afterwards. We know that we don't have really a lot going on. I think we want to try to get rid of the Jupiter, yeah, which will, stop the bleeding a little bit on the next turn. We're going to play the 9-drop Sanji. Going to play out, wow, the Goldie Roger, how to get there.
Whoa! What a top deck!
We got big 8K leader here and deciding where we're attacking into.
Yep,
so probably does have to be the Venus Juro.
Probably. And then just kind of hope for the best from there. We've mitigated the board. The problem with Emu is there's that it'll have the ability to reestablish that board very demandingly and not that long. So the window for Luffy to take advantage of kind of this setup isn't a super long one, but we do still have another Gum Giant in hand, being able to cycle some cards in hand and protect ourselves. So there's still room to make things happen, but we'll have to see how much Emu can do about that.
Yeah, and so they shorthanded a little bit, but they did. I'm losing my. After all these years, I'm losing my edge. So plus 1K, 2K, and then they added a 2K Sheer Hoshi, and they used it. We're going to use the Venus Juro here. So this is still attacking for 7K, and then giving the minus 2K to the Mihawk to try to get the removal there. We're going to do the 1K there. We're going to do a 7K into the Mihawk once again. And it's the thing is that once Emu gets to 10 Dawn, you want to try to get them down to 1 or 2 life, but they still have the full 4. Yep, so nasty.
And then we're just gonna go ahead and cycle that away, get ourselves a draw, and then there we go. Pay the 3, use the empty throne. Here comes the biggins.
Yep. So again, 5 Ellers. We have to discard 1. We do get to. And we discard the Shalaria, it looks like, to then be able to play out this. We reset the Venus Juro, which again is going to attack another -2 to the Mihawk, which is pretty nasty.
Yep, grab another 5 Elders from there, add that back to our hand. So a little bit of search. Now we've got some defense. Everything's back to being a 7K at this point, thanks to the Jupiter. We do get that additional swing here, so this Mihawk an additional -2K. We're going to go and use the Giant.
And then, I don't know if we have enough cards in our trash right now, but it looks like it's going to be 7 to 5 to get rid of the Mihawk, potentially.
Here, Tehan heads up play, knowing that he needs his board to make something happen here, even though this is a very scary position as we go into the past top 5. See what we're able to find here.
Nami blocker is not too bad. Another 2K. It looks like we're going to get the Usohachi. Usohachi could potentially help us go for game by resting a blocker. Now that we have a board, we can kind of protect it as well. But we did kind of need another Goldie Roger. That definitely would have helped us.
Yep, so bottoming the rest, going for the draw into an Otama. Could let us cycle some of our deck if needed.
Yeah, but I'm going to guess we're going to try to play 5 cost Nami. It's going to be a draw 3, and then you put 2 at the top or bottom of your deck. So it does help you get a lot of consistency on that as well. But it just means that you're giving up the chance to be an 8K leader with Goldie Roger.
Here's a swing into the Venus. Down it goes. And now it's such a tough spot. It's like, I got a punch face, probably. It's going to give you some cards, though, which is unfortunate. But we do need to edge our way towards a win.
But the thing is, Emu just knows they can't lose this turn. They have 4 7Ks essentially aggressively on the other side. And it just kind of really quickly turns into like a discard 5, and then I get to reset my board,
Right.
All right, so we're going to play Nami for 5 here. Again, if we have a multicolor leader, we get to draw 3, and then you get to put 2 cards at the top or bottom of our life, or sorry, of our deck. So it looks like it's going to be Goldie Roger, and I think that might be a Sanji. Yeah, best buddies back at it again. If we have another turn, we can play it next turn, but yeah, we're going to put those back on the top there.
Another 5 available.
Looks like we're thinking about, we could play Uso Hachi right now, and we can like at least force a block.
Yeah. So there goes the Otama.
The Saturn.
Hachi with the rest. And then just 1 card. Big old swing here from the Mihawk now.
Yeah, 9 to 5. Sure. But you can just block it with the Workery, and then Workery's going to draw us a card. So yeah, why not? And then
another one.
Big number there.
All right, pass it back here to Wasinha. Still has 2 elders on board.
And on Tihan Yong's side, we've got 1 blocker, 2 Dawn open, but we are a 6K leader, which is normally a pretty
usually pretty good,
size, but less so right now.
Yeah, it does look like we do also have that additional 1K there on the Emu. So very strong spot to be in here. Attach 1 and swing.
Yeah, mostly plus, a 2K deficit's pretty nice, but Luffy does also play a lot of these gear 2s, which you can use to get the block there. You will likely need to block with Nami before they use their 5 outers play, so since they can just get rid of it with the with just replaying out the Mars here. So again, really heads up from Tihan.
All right, so quick count here, what we're working with in our trash. Thinking about how much we're going to commit to the swing. Has to be defended.
Yeah.
Attach 2. And swing on over for 8.
Another gear 2. We're going to play 3 for the 5 outers. We're going to tap the Dawn, discard 1. We're going to use the effect once again. So again, we get 5 outers out there. We get a look top 5 to draw 1. We do have a rusher with the Venus Juro, and we could pop the Uso Hachi if we need to, but we're just going to go for game here. And looks like we get out of it.
Get out of it! Hey!
So we got 1 more turn, but again, like 2 blockers, 4 life. There's just no way for Luffy to be able to go for game here. Right. And
because like we can go for the Sanji into the Goldie Roger, but
yeah, it's
you
just
don't have game on board here. It's a very tough spot.
Yeah. So we get to do it 1 more time, but that's going to be really tough to defend.
Do it for the fans. Yeah. Tihan, I think, recognizing
maybe if they forget to block, we have a chance.
So first swing here, going to get rid of the Venus. And then Sanji swing here. We're going to be a take from Emu down to 3 life. Swing here, take. Going to be able to get the trigger off here.
Yeah, getting a 2K just in case.
Swing. Thinking about it.
Yeah, Sanji for 9. 1 more Goldie Roger for fun here. Plus 2K here. Big 8.
8K swing.
Yeah. We're good.
It's going to be a take.
That's fine.
Yeah, we're all smiles. We know what's going on here. And then let's get through it here for Wasinha. Swing here. Going to be able to not combo out. And that's it. Wasinha is your 2-0 one-piece card game world champion.
Yep. Bringing it home for the Emu players, bringing it home for the Thailand players, and again, is our world champion for the 2024-2025 season of the One Piece Card Game Championship.
showcasing the power that Emu has here. Just deploying threat after threat and putting Blue Purple Luffy in a position where just could not stabilize in a way to be able to apply the counter pressure here. But massive kudos to Taehong Yong as well, who's going to be walking away as the silver placement runner-up. It is no small feat to be able to say that you get to walk away as the second best player in the world. So kudos to both these players for playing out an amazing tournament to make it out here on this world stage.